My name is Pingping Chen. As Linnell mentioned, I'm a PhD student here at K-State in Industrial Engineering and Manufacturing Systems. And this summer, I had the privilege to work with Pollution Prevention Institute. And today I'm going to present some of my results for the past summer. So I mainly work on the solid waste reduction project. And the second project I work on is the environmental education project, which is on food recovery. And the last summer, I worked with 5 different companies. So to hold their confidentiality, here I just put their industries here. So the first one I work with is a hospital. The hospital did a really good job on solid waste reduction. They have their recycling programs, and they have a third-party company who can track their food waste. So after a site visit and another site visit to the hospital, I do not have any recommendation for them, and they treat their medical waste really well as well. So I'm gonna skip this one. This time I prepare a report, and the only recommendation for this one is maybe for other hospitals to follow the procedures they have already implemented. So the other companies I work with is architecture, windows manufacturer, a aerospace company, a modes manufacturer, and a fertilizer manufacturing company. So for each company, I present the opportunities for solid waste reduction and the calculation of the numbers of the research, and also the recommendations about how to reduce them. And follow to introduce a little bit about the environmental education project, and followed by the summary. So the solid waste reduction project, the main goal is to reduce the industrial solid waste entering landfills. Our job is to identify opportunities for the companies to reduce, to reuse and recycling. I think, I know many of you here already know this graph, this figure about methods to reduce the solid waste or other waste. So the most preferred way is source reduction, and the least preferred way is to landfill, which is our main goal of this project. Here's a figure of the solid waste disposal flowchart in Kansas. And you can see the landfill, the dot means landfill sites in Kansas, and the different color means different lifespan times. So you may see that most of the landfills follow in the range of 25 years to 100 years. But these numbers may change if we do not treat the solid waste disposal carefully, or do not aware enough awareness of from the public. And I have spoken to one of the county, and they were surprised that their landfill only have a lifespan of a lifetime of 45 years left. Our project target areas is Southeast Kansas and Northeast Kansas and Missouri, some counties. And here's a list of our target areas. And the reason for this is because these are rural places, and the companies there might not have have resources, or it's just simply they do not have time to do this kind of solid waste reduction project. So the first company I want to talk about is the architectural windows manufacturer company. And the first thing when I did the site visit and did the solid waste audit is the scrap vinyl waste. They use the vinyl to manufacture their windows and doors frames. And the figure A shows their scrap vinyl waste from their initial cut. The company used a 24-foot strip, vinyl strip, while they cut them to 18 to 23 foot for further application, for further usage. And figure B shows the already assembled cut off vinyl from their frames because of the customized products. So the average annual scrap vinyl waste is about 130,000 foot, and which is weight 12,000 pounds. And the annual cost in the raw material loss is about $32,000. After doing some research, my recommendations comes in three ways. The first one is to reduce from the source. So after interviewing the manager and the workers there in the facility, that it looks like the communication and the scheduling problems are the main obstacles for this scrap vinyl waste. And besides that, improving that, and also the recommended ways to optimize is to orientate the saw design and customize the grippers, and also it can apply a linear processing optimization software, which can improve the efficiency of the cutting process. And from the study show that if the material increase, and it can save a lot of money for other similar companies. And for this company, if the material increased by 1%, which means it can save the money about $10,000, and it can reduce the scrap vinyl waste about 4,000 pounds. The second recommendation for this is to recycle. Because vinyl is a PVC, which is a thermal plastic polymer. It can be melted and reformed, and also can be reused to make the other products similar usage or same usage products. And there are some, the first thing is to check with the supplier to see if they have a take back program, which is the ideal way. And other ways would be try the other recycling company. So US has a vinyl institute, which they update the list about the recycling companies every year. And they have listed about 100 recycle companies in US who can take back this scrap vinyls. And if this recycling program was used, and then there will be reduce the solid waste of almost 13,000 pounds devoted from entering the landfill. The second opportunity for reduce the solid waste is the wood waste. So the company use wood pallets to shipping their products to US to their customers. Sorry. So the wooden pallets is customized, and the current practice in the company is they do not reuse it, and those used ones will go to the landfill. The total quantity of the annual waste with pallets is about 200,000 pounds, and the annual cost of the waste with pallets is about $36,000. And For the wooden pallets, I did some research, and it turns out there are multiple ways you can reduce them from entering landfill. The first one would be reduce from the source again. So the ways you can reduce the usage of wooden pallets is to replace them with the plastic ones. So the plastic wood pallets has the advantage of being lighter and being more robust, and has more life cycles than wooden pallets. And you can see from the figure that the wooden pallets, the lifetime cycles is about mostly falls on the 5 cycles and 30 cycles, while the plastic pallets mostly they're using about 100 cycles. So if the estimated replace 20% of the wooden pallets with plastic pallets, the annual cost saving would be $3,500, and the solid waste reduction would be 28,000 pounds. And the second way to reduce the solid waste is to reuse. Currently, the company has a size which they use the most. I call it common size, that occupies 10% of all the size they're ordering of the pallets. So it's worth it to try to store the size and reuse them instead of just use once and let them go to the landfill. The third way is to recycle. Similar to the first project, the first thing is to check with the company to ask if they have tech programs of the wooden pallets. This one might be a little bit difficult because the wooden pallets is customized size. It might be not that feasible. And the second, the other way to recycle is to try the local recycle programs, like the local county and the recycling companies. And this can prevent the solid waste from entering the landfill, but it might cost more because of the transportation. The third opportunities of the solid waste reduction for this company is the paint powder waste. So they were using a powder coating machine to paint their frames of the doors and windows, and they were using two types of powder, paint powder. So the two types of paint powder were fed to the machine automatically and based on the manufacturing schedule. According to the manager, that this mixture of the collected powder paint is not reusable because of their chemical properties cannot make them easily to separate. And if they can separate the paint, the two types of the paint, the powder paint, it's possible. It's very possible that they can be reused again to enter the coating machine. So the annual paint powder waste, the weight is about 22,000 pounds, and the waste ratio is like 28% of the raw material. And the cost of the raw material annually is excuse me, is $560,000. So the recommendation, as you may notice, since I come from the industrial engineering, I like optimization. So the first recommendation is to optimize the schedule to reduce from the source. As I mentioned before, that if the simple way to if the two types of the paint powder can be collected separately, they can reuse. and reused. And the case study has shown that 90% of the reclaimed powder can be reused. Here, I take this number for 95%, and which will save the company of a $500,000 and prevent the waste reduction from the entering landfill about 20,000 pounds. The other ways to reduce to reduce the solid waste from entering landfill is to repurpose. The paint powder can be used to reformulate with black pigments for coating other parts. This might evolve to communicate with other companies or other industries about this reuse. And the other ways will include melted resin and use as bonding agents and use additive to cements. The second company I was working with is an aerospace company. The main solid waste opportunity from their facility is the industrial waste, which is the garnet abrasives. The company uses the water jet machine to process their products like machining, cutting, and surface processing. So they have 2-axis water jet machine and a 5-axis water jet machine. So the figure shows the sketch of how the abrasive water jet machine works. So the machine uses high pressure water entering the machine and isolates the abrasive particles. The abrasive particles can help to erode the particle here, and the spent abrasive particles will be entering a container like outside connected to the machine. The annual solid waste of the abrasive is 86 tons, and the cost is $32,000. So after doing some research, the first recommendation is to optimize the abrasive mass flow rate. So currently, this company uses a flow rate of 0.8, and a study has shown like for the similar products, because their major product is a titanium alloy. So study has shown that the major flow rate, the optimized flow rate is about 0.75 pounds per minute, which means that if by optimization, there will be a reduction of 0.05 pounds per minute of the abrasives. So which this this will give the company like a cost saving about $24,000, and will cause the company to a reduction of solid waste from landfill about 57 tons. The second one, recommendation to recycling. I need to make note here that the first one is the optimization method may be complex because they need to count a lot of parameters there. So I didn't recommend this one because of the complex of the workload, and also they might need to ask someone like full-time to do this job. and the at the end of the day, it might be there's not a lot of reduction of the flow rate. So so what I recommend in the report is the on-site recycling. This will include they install another recycling machine that to the current machine, and that can clean and filtering the abrasives. So that because garnet abrasives is not like dangerous. It's chemical inert, and it's safe to it's that recycling machine installed is pretty simple. So and according to the study shows that about 50% to 80% of the spent garnet abrasive can still be used. Here I take the kind of the middle number of 60%. And also there are some research studies show that the reclaimed garnet abrasives actually can give a better performance because they have a better size distribution, and also a better also they can remove some impurities after the first usage. And so assume the recovery percentage is 60%, and they will give the company a cost saving of $600,000 and a weight of solid waste reduction about 47 tons. So other ways to recycle is to offsite recycling. In the report, I give them a list of the companies which they offer garnet recycling nearby the company where the company located. The third recommendation is report works. So the garnet, as I mentioned, garnet is a chemical inert material, and it's kind of rocks, like abrasive rocks. So it can be used as landfill cover. Also, it can be used as an ingredient for the concrete as a raw material, or for to fabricate bricks, or it can be used to extract some other elements, like a rare earth elements and high technology metals, scandium. Research has been shown that since these elements are high value, so it might be worth it to it. But again, it's still not a commercialized method, so it requires a lot of research on that for the research. The other opportunity for this company is to reduce the mixed solid waste. So the company has already tried to implement recycling program when I was researching on this, and so this recommendation will focus on the cost saving side. Currently, the company use a 30 cubic yard dumpster. The 30 cubic yard dumpster can hold solid waste of about 4.5 tons. But the company, from the data, the company use only average about 1.08 ton, which means the dumpster are only one fourth full, and this can be fixed by decrease the trash pickup frequency. And currently, the frequency of the company pickup service is 4 times per week, and if we reduce to bi-weekly, the annual cost would be at least $5,700. And also resize the dumpster will be also helpful, but it will be this one will include like the estimates cost of the new dumpsters and get rid of the old dumpsters.
The third about company, 3 minutes, Pingping.
Oh,
about 3 minutes.
Okay. The third company is a mold manufacturer. The recommendation is so the company use fiberglass to manufacture their molds, and the main waste is the cut off fiberglass from their molds. So the recommendation will be to recycle, because after you research that the fiberglass is recyclable, and after you shred it, grind it, the size and strength will be reduced, and it can be used for further applications. Some companies already fabricate eco-ply pallets and panels, and the construction panel boards use the recycled fiberglass. And I have listed some companies here, and the annual weight of solid waste devoted from landfill will be 46 tons, and the cost will be saved by $7,000. The other countries is mixed solid waste. So currently they were mixing everything together. They do not have a recycling program. The recommendation would be find a company to evaluate their mixed solid waste and implement recycling program. I have given them a list of the companies who has this program, and the calculation is that the annual waste of the solid waste diverted from the landfill would be 15 tons. The last company I worked with is a fertilizer manufacturing company. The major solid waste is from this company is the lime cakes. The company uses a lime to treat the river water to remove the calcium and the magnesium ions from the water to meet their water usage in their facility. And the lime cakes comes from this treatment process and goes to landfill. And this for the numbers of the weight and the cost of year 2020 listed here. After doing research, the good news is that the lime cakes can be repurposed. Here we call it beneficial reuse. So the best way to reuse as maybe as a landfill recover, because it's easier to process, and it will save up all the money that used for disposal, and it can devote all the solid waste from entering landfill. Other ways will be reusing as a ground limestone, and in wastewater neutralization, and cement production, agriculture, land application. All the details of each method is described in the report I gave to the company.